Introduce yourself, please.
Good evening. My name is Sean. Topic of the conference name is Additive Manufacturing / 3D Printing Educators Conference 2017.
Sounds good.
The topic of my presentation will be the cultural impacts of additive manufacturing to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM fields in primary K-12 education in Northern Virginia. So the importance of additive manufacturing, 3D printing in K-12 education. So in the future, additive manufacturing is going to replace the traditional manufacturing methods that we currently employ today. You know, subtractive manufacturing, CNCing, so on and so forth, stamping of metals. You know, back in the day where you just sat there and stamped, the big machines that stamped, you know, dies and everything. You just kept on producing things. The issue with that was long lead times. If you sat there and said, hey, I have this bumper, and I need to make one modification to this bumper. You then have to go ahead and make a modification to your die, which takes time, money, so on and so forth. Hence the reason why a lot of auto manufacturers, they sit there and go, additive manufacturing may revolutionize these things. We can sit there and make quick revisions to our product that keep us modernized so we can go ahead and stay at the forefront of technology while not disrupting our supply chain. So the introduction of 3D printing processes in the K-12 education, educators will be able to deliver tangible, real-world products that reflect the effects of lessons delivered in the classroom on a wide range of topics. You know, kids who don't like math. A lot of kids don't like math. They sat there and, I don't see the purpose of this. How many of us sat there and said, I don't see the purpose of doing all this math? By doing trigonometry, algebra, so on and so on and so forth, they'll be able to use additive 3D printing to sit there and say, hey, this triangle, the reason why this triangle is, we have this formula is because it produces this, and you can print this out. So kids will be able to sit there and say, oh, I see what's going on. I know why this is important. This is cool. You know, so it adds a fun factor while enforcing and building upon the education blocks. To also design concepts where kids were able to sit there and go, I can build this house, draw this house out in, you know, multiple parts. You can assign a kid, you build this room, you build this room, they print it out, and they build this castle, this house, so on and so forth. They can see where additive manufacturing and 3D printing actually help them out to understand design, so on and so forth. So, additive manufacturing, 3D printing in Northern Virginia. I've got a couple other examples. So one thing, there are two schools right now that actively offer 3D printing, additive manufacturing course loads in their schools. One is Cortana Academy. It's a private school that for 6th through 12th grade in Ashburn, Virginia, that offer full computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, which is the backbone of 3D printing. Computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing. Has anybody heard of AutoCAD? Mm-hmm. So you use AutoCAD, you draw everything out of AutoCAD, you can then send it to your 3D printer, and then it prints it. So the great thing about it is you can visualize it, and then what you visualize, you print. So you're able to go ahead and get, you know, real-world results based on, you know, validate your concept. A couple of my resources. MakerBot, which is one of the 3D printing manufacturers that build these machines, they have a educator's toolkit, which is really interesting because they sit there. I'm really far from my little hotspot. Okay, so they have actual case studies of schools, not in Northern Virginia, obviously, but there are actual schools that implemented it in elementary school so kids could build little bears and dinosaurs. So they sit there and go, oh, this is fun. How do I get to do this? And they actually become proficient. The key thing that introduces culturally is it brings these kids in at an early age to understand these concepts, build upon these concepts. Right. So when they get, you know, advanced and they decide, you know, I want to go pursue this, they already have a strong backbone and they can go ahead and innovate for the future. That's as far as I've got. Anything else?
No, that's a good start. Fire away. Questions, please.